good evening to everyone who have joined, to all the distinguished guests, mentors, and other stakeholders who have taken out time for this wonderful evening. That's the validity section of AI Plus Impact Cohort. So it's my pleasure to welcome you all to the wonderful evening of validity session of our ongoing AI Plus Impact Cohort. As we gather for this evening, we celebrate not only the end of this cohort, I will say the beginning of this cohort, where it's like we are connecting with all these startups, mentors, and helping them to get the relevant connects which are required for the success of the cohort. So this evening is an opportunity to reflect on the progress that we have made so far in this cohort, the hard work done by the startups, the AFI team, and specifically to the mentors who have worked hard with these startups and who have like helped these startups to get the relevant connects and the mentoring also towards on this specific topic. So while this cohort may be coming to the close, in many ways it's a beginning of something even greater. The knowledge, the networks, the connections which the mentors have made, with which the other stakeholders have made in this cohort. So thank you all for being part of this evening, part of this cohort. I wish you all an inspiring validity session, take, uh, uh, which will be which will be done in this evening. Once again, welcome you all for the wonderful evening. I would like to hand over to Glossy, who will share the brief about the program, what we have so far in this cohort, how we help to the number of startups which are part of this cohort. So over to you, Glossy. You can start briefing out yeah the brief about the cohort.
Thank you so much, Pratik. Thank you so much. So, as we celebrate the culmination of an inspiring 4 month journey that began on 27th January 2026, with a very shared vision to harness the power of AI to solve some of the India's most pressing social environmental challenges. And with this program commenced with the formation of a very curated AI council, bringing together industry experts, innovators, and ecosystem leaders to identify the actual key challenges and emerging opportunities where AI could create meaningful impact. Following extensive consultation, we finalized and the focus areas, which is healthcare, agriculture, and climate tech. This accelerator then witnessed a very rigorous startup selection process through level 1 and level 2 jury evaluation, where numerous applications were assessed on innovation, scalability, various other parameters like technological strength, potential of social impact. After this, a very competitive screening process, we selected 12 high potential AI startups who were part of this AI Plus Impact Accelerator Cohort 2026. These founders have been immensely great and they participated in this accelerator journey comprising of almost 70 plus hours of one-on-one mentoring sessions, various founder huddles, expert-led knowledge business sessions. They engaged with a lot of leading other entrepreneurs, investors, corporate leaders, AI practitioners, and domain experts who helped them strengthen their business model, their products, how to validate their market opportunities, and prepare for sustainable growth. This evening is not only a celebration of remarkable progress made by our founders, but also a testament to the collective efforts that our mentors have put on to refine their solutions. Our jury members, our AI council, and other industry leaders, plus along with the Action for India community who made this journey possible. It's now my distinct privilege to welcome our host for this initiative, Mr. Sanjay Kadavaru, founder, chairman of Action for India. Mr. Kadavaru, a warm welcome to you to this forum. He is alumnus of IIT Madras and the Kellogg School of Management in Northwestern University. He also served as a director of Sun Group and is a co-founder of healthcare and innovation initiatives, bringing a decade of leadership experience in entrepreneurship, innovation, and social impact. I would like to hand over the forum to you, sir, and would like to request you to share your insight with our participants. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Glossy. You can remove this screen. You can disable it. I just want to kind of share a few words. Yeah. So firstly, a warm welcome to everybody who's on the call. We've got, I think about 40 participants on a weekday evening in India and an early morning on the West Coast. It takes a bit of interest and commitment to join a gathering like this. Um, I want to share a few things before the rest of the program and the true heroes of this cohort, the social entrepreneurs, get a chance to share about the work that they have done, and also hear from the truly influential leaders that we have to deliver the keynote remarks today. Two of them, not one, Will Poole from Capria and Dr. Vijay Amritraj. We'll be hearing from both of them, eagerly looking forward to their remarks as well. Again, AFI is not new to definitely the entrepreneurs on the call, the mentors on the call, but to those few of you who have joined the call for the first time or do not know much about AFI, we've been around for more than a dozen years now. And our mission, as well as our core customers in these dozen years, we haven't strayed from our original intent. We began this journey back in 2012 with a mission to support early stage tech-enabled for-profit high potential social entrepreneurs of the country, and then connect these entrepreneurs with the resources that they need for scaling up. It could be funding, mentors, technology resources, government decision makers, customers, and what have you. So this has been something that has been consistent through these dozen years and more. And as with any organization which is to begin with survived such a long duration of time and then has had a chance to pivot through the various developments externally as well as internally in this long duration of time, we've also had to pivot. And we made a big pivot earlier in the year when we decided that everything that we do at AFI moving forward will be at the intersection of AI and impact. And one of the first manifestations of that intent was this AI Impact Cohort, the dozen entrepreneurs that we selected. And these entrepreneurs spent the last several months with us and had an opportunity to engage with each other, to engage with the mentors. And thanks to the team and thanks to our board of directors, advisors, mentors, we were able to connect them, be it with a investor, a customer, a partner, and so forth. So this has been the first part of this journey, and everything that we do moving forward, be it subsequent cohorts. We just finished the selection for the next cohort, which will be an Agri AI cohort. Again, 100 plus applications, about 15 entrepreneurs selected, and we're looking forward to working with them in the coming weeks. And that's one. We also, in terms of the AFI annual forum that we used to do in the past, once we resurrect that forum and have that organized, that'll again be at the intersection of AI and impact. And a few things have helped us in the past to be on this journey and to do an effective job. But more importantly, moving forward, the bigger goals and the bigger ambitions that we have will be strengthened by the new people joining us, either as board members, either as team members, and so forth. At this juncture, I'd like to kind of call out two individuals in particular who are on the call. One is Praful Krishna, who is based in the Bay Area. Yeah, he's waving. Thank you for being with us, Praful. Praful is a director for product management at Google. He's going to be joining the AFI board shortly. To have leaders of Praful's stature join our team and provide the strategic guidance, and being there in the valley, the epicenter for technology innovation, the epicenter for AI innovation, the kind of resources that can be marshaled for the benefit of our social entrepreneurs. It's just going to be immense and incredible. So we are going to be welcoming him to the AFI board in the US shortly. And the second person I'd like to call out is Alex Counts, whom you also see on the call. Alex is based in Washington, D.C., and he's been a senior advisor for AFI the last few years. And I'm greatly thrilled and privileged to have somebody of Alex's rich experience in the India-US corridor. He's a he's a protege of Professor Muhammad Yunus from Bangladesh. Has built the Grameen Foundation, and he's currently the executive director for India Philanthropy Alliance. So a person of his network, of his insights, of his experience, believing in the path that we've chosen and throwing his full weight behind the organization, it's going to mean a lot to our next phase of scaling journey. So welcome, Alex. And I'd like to now turn again my focus on the entrepreneurs who are assembled here and from whom you'll be hearing about the problems that they're trying to solve. Uh, One of my own mentors, Deshpande, always mentions this, and there's no better setting than the session that you're part of. He talks about Desh talks about there being three kinds of people in this world in the context of the problems that they face, and problems, be it in the US, be it in India, be it in any other part of the world, one is always exposed to problems. But the important thing is in terms of what do people do when faced with problems. There's one category who are oblivious to problems. There's a second category who see problems, but they do nothing more than complain about the problems and pass the buck, to the government, to the civil society, to the corporate world. They don't want to have anything to do with creating the solution. But the third category, and I think almost all the entrepreneurs in the current cohort can very clearly are people in that category. These are people who, the moment they see a problem, they're energized by the problem, and they are see it as an opportunity to make a difference and see it as an opportunity to contribute and grow. And these are the kind of people, any society, in terms of the pace of progress, it makes it directly a function of the ratio of these three categories of people. So if you have a dominant number of these problem solvers, the country has got a rich future ahead of it. And it's my sincere belief that the entrepreneurs that we are training at AFI, the social entrepreneurs, who several of them had to say no to lucrative careers in the West, they have chosen to identify and commit their efforts and resources to solving a particular problem. And the more such people that we are able to kind of help provide resources for, help scale up their journey, the better off the country will be. So all of the entrepreneurs, please give yourself a pat on the back. We are really proud and privileged to play a small role in your scaling journey, and the difference that you'll make for the societies in which you live in, for the communities that you live in, and for the country at large. This is just tremendous what you folks will be doing. And this is the valedictory event for the AFI cohort. This by no means should be the end of your affiliation with AFI. This is probably just the beginning. Continue to network, be in touch with your peers, the other social entrepreneurs who were there with you on this journey. Continue to reach out to the AFI team and the AFI advisors and keep us abreast about your milestones of progress so that we can be there for your next phase of journey, be it in terms of recommending people for gaps in your top management team, recommending you to a particular investor who can play a critical role in your next phase of scaling journey, and what have you. So that stuff, you should never hesitate to reach out to us, even though this is the valedictory session. And again, from Will and from Vijay Amritraj, there'll be a ton of insights from their experience, from their purchase, and I'm sure that that'll inspire you to continue to be on the wonderful journey that you've chosen to be. With that, over to you, Glossy, for the next session of the program.
Yeah, thanks, Sanjay, for your remarkable words. Glossy, you can start if you can start sharing the screen again, and then we can invite the entrepreneurs. Yeah. So now it's kind of a most exciting brief by these startups, which they will be sharing a quick brief about this, what they are doing and that all. So for that, I would like to start with ISA2, Dr. Shikha. Yeah, Dr.
Yeah,
Shikha,
thank
if
you,
you can
Prateek.
quickly, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Am I audible?
yeah, you are audible.
Yeah, so I would like to summarize my experience with AFI, although 1 minute is too short, that has been given to us. But IC2 was a company which was recently founded, and as soon as we founded this company, we were selected by the AI cohort. So as a clinician entrepreneur, I had very minimal experience of doing business. And I think AI almost adopted us for the 6 months that we had experience with them. And almost like a family, we could, reach out to the mentors, we could reach out to the core people, core team in the AFI who would help us as if the business was their own. So this was the whole thing, that they helped us from the scratch. And today I can proudly say that our AI enabled health tech is reaching 4 times the reach that it began in January. And of course, there are lots and lots of long distance to cover. And as Dr. Sanjay sir said that, of course, this is just a stepping stone, and the relationship is bound to, fructify in near future also.
Thanks, Shikha. We can move to next one. Glossy. Yeah. Ex-boson, Pradeep. Yeah, Pradeep. Pradeep, Pradeep is there, but I guess he's not able to.
Hello.
Pradeep, can you hear us?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Now is
yeah,
it
Pradeep.
audible? Yeah.
Yeah,
First
Pradeep.
of all, thanks for Action for India for selecting us in this cohort. So my name is Pradeep and our startup is Xboson AI. For this cohort, we have applied for one of our product, KrishiSat. KrishiSat is an AI-powered solution for agriculture and climate intelligence. So with this, my cohort, my teammate Adul also is in this call. So during this cohort, completely, we both of them attended the multiple sessions with multiple mentors. We have get lot of insights specifically related to our scaling journey. So thanks AFI for this opportunity.
We can move to next. Senthil from Same Mom.
Yeah, hello everyone. First of all, thank you so much for gathering this kind of initiative, especially startups in India. AI startup, they need a right mentor who can validate that they are in the right direction or not. And thank you so much, Sanjay sir, and the entire team, Glossy, Pradeep, everyone Pratik, who are part of this and continuously doing this every week and close follow up. I really appreciate Glossy for the continuous make sure that we are not missing any session. Really appreciate that. As a startup, we have part of multiple accelerator program. But what is the real value we got from this is real execution, because all the mentors we interacted, typically different program. Mentor is like, no, okay, they asked, so I want to be mentor. Just I listen the startup. I asked startup to ask the question. They're not asking question. This is what typically it will be there. But in AFI mentor, they are more prompt. Okay, they want you to succeed. Our mentor Bono, make sure that the end of the cohort, I'll put aside MOU with the UP government and Tata and ensure that you are entering to the North Indian market. So that type of push is I never experienced in any other program, because the mentor was okay. They just give a time, but here all the mentor we are actually pushing them to make sure that the startup is benefited out of the program. And they also value the founder's time a lot. Okay, they realize that founder is busy. It is not good to make them sit for a long call. So every call, the mentor come up with a very clear agenda, like what you want, what is the outcome you get from the call. So that kind of a curation is really amazing. And I want you guys even mentor a lot of accelerator in India how to run a mentorship program for a startup, which is really beneficial to the startup. And thanks for the team for such an opportunity.
Thanks, Senthil. Yeah, Rajat from DB.
The founder of DB through one of our agents called Buddy B, which is a swarm of voice AI agents, which was first of its kind of concept where we kind of released for the masses in India, targeting the SHGs and FPOs with more focus later on towards the FPOs, a swarm of voice agents that could remember what someone spoke, connected with other agents, identified new issues. So it was kind of a loop engineering that we decided to work with n number of voice agents, because voice was the only interface, is the only interface I feel that can connect the masses. So with that, AFI selected me for its cohort. Over the period, I did interact with some very good minds about their idea on how things can be, about my idea on how things can proceed. So it's a continuous journey. I feel still is just the start for us to bring that impact. We do are overcoming the challenges that is coming on a daily basis. One thing that I felt with AFI was the intent was very clear to help. Now, obviously, how does that help come or how can that impact come is something that is a very first time of its kind, that because everyone is coming with a new problem to solve. As a mentor, they think it in their own terms. So it was a journey from both the ends where I think both the parties learned in something new, something from the other side. From here on, obviously, I would try to connect more with the mentors whenever they are available, the advisors, for some support that we can get in terms of some credits, in terms of cloud credits and stuff. Because ours is something which is bit different in terms of tech that we were trying to achieve. It was not done anywhere in the world. So, and doing it in India with the kind of capital, less of capital backing and things like that. So people of that sort. So I learned a few things, and with this thing, the goal is like to take it to where it should be, and bringing in AFI as a part of it, asking for more things to happen with time. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Next, yeah, yeah, Chirag, of course, from Aladin.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. So I'm Chirag Patel, co-founder and CEO of Alad Green Private Limited. So Alad Green is a climate tech company, specifically accelerating the solar adoption with the AI at the core. So like most of the time, like people often think like founders needs fundings the most. But over the past few months in the AFI, I've realized that before funding, founder needs the clarity. And that's exactly the thing which AFI gave me, to be honest. Like when we joined the AFI program, like we were deeply passionate about like solving India's clean energy challenges. Like we had the vision, but the every mentor conversation which we had, like it totally challenged us to ask like tougher questions, like how do we create lasting impact, side by side creating the brand presence along with the revenue enhancement as well. And I would like sincerely thanks to Glossy for contributing in this journey, as she's a part of a like core team of the Alat Green. Pratik, regarding the grant options, like dude, you are best, yaar. Grant option keh raha hu. Anna. And side by side Prasad as well. And our mentor Sumit, like for consistently like pushing us beyond our comfort zone. The guidance never gave us like a shortcut. कुछ भी shortcut की तरह नहीं, it gave us the confidence to make better decisions. And one conversation that particularly like stayed with me was with the Sanjay sir. Like his perspective on the entrepreneurship and scaling was not just an advice. It changed the way like we think about the building the robust organizational development for Alad Green. So today I'm happy to share that those learning that we came that which we got from the AFI has already been translated into an action. We have recently moved to our own office in Ghaziabad, Delhi NCR, marking the beginning of our next chapter as like we scale. And Alad Green, our platform, Surya Sangam, with a singular vision to make the clean energy more like accessible and a more trustworthy at the for the every Indian here. AFI didn't just help us to make a better company, it helped us become a better founder, like to be honest. And thank you to the entire AFI team for believing in entrepreneurs like us and for building an ecosystem where each founders don't just grow, they transform. Thank you so much. Thank you to the entire AFI team.
Thanks, Chirag. Uh, so now, of course, I would like to hand over to Sanjay to introduce Will, and then we will go to his remarks for this wonderful evening. Yeah, over to you, Sanjay. Sanjay, can you hear us?
Sanjay, you are on mute.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, thank you, Pratik. And a quick word of thanks to Chirag for his heartfelt comments. Yeah, it's to be meaningful to entrepreneurial journeys like yours, Chirag. That's a raison d'etre. So we appreciate your kind words, and we hope that that'll inspire us to be helpful to you and the other entrepreneurs for your continuous scaling journeys. Will is not new to AFI. Will has interacted with me personally, and he's spoken to earlier cohorts of AFI entrepreneurs. And if I remember rightly, he's even attended an earlier AFI forum. The reason why Will is important to this session is at least three. There's technology, there's India, there is impact. Just by way of background, is the co-founder and managing partner of Capria Ventures, an investment fund active in India that also backs fund managers across the globe. On the technologies front, Will has spent more than 2 decades at Microsoft as a senior executive before founding Capria, and he continues to champion the responsible use of AI as Capria's chief AI evangelist. On India, he's been involved right from the very beginning of his investment career, and today he has a full team on the ground in Bangalore who've been tremendous work supporting the social entrepreneurs of the country. And on impact, that's where it all comes together with his current focus on AI, as well as Action for India, completely aligned on what this technology can mean for the impact world, both economic value and societal good at scale. So it's my distinct pleasure to invite him to share a few remarks with our graduating cohort. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Will.
Thank you so much, Sanjay. Pleasure to be here again and continue to be inspired by the founders I just saw and everything else you guys are getting done at Action for India. So over the next 10 minutes, I'd like to share with you a little bit of guidance from my perspective as a operator and investor in India for going on 25 years now, specifically in India. I do commute from Seattle or Hawaii to Bangalore on a regular basis, but India is really my primary place of business. And then I want to actually scare you a little bit with a concept that you may or may not have heard much about, that it's going to affect everybody relative to AI, and then inspire you with a big problem that I hope that maybe you can help address. So let me start with the first point. Building for impact. This is you all have already started this journey, but doing it on a sustainable basis, being able to raise capital here is not easy. And so you've already seen that you can build stuff, but knowing what to build and how to do that sustainably, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about this new concept of cognitive surrender. And I'd like to engage you all in this one. It's a very, very important problem for society broadly. And then we'll talk about this idea of the token divide. By the way, well, let me bring up I get this back. I want to put a link into the chat window, but this thing went away. Where's the chat window? Pardon me 1 second. Wow, I started using Google instead of, there we go. Okay, I started using Google instead of Zoom and lost it. I'm also writing a book on this topic, on many of these topics. It's called Flourishing with AI, and I put the link to how you can chat with my book through a custom chatbot into the chat window. So hopefully you can all see that now. So let's talk about building sustainably. You all are operating already with, I would say, clearly from the discussions we've had, with deep local context. You have know-how that you've built from working with people that are having challenges and needs on the ground, and you're starting to collect data from that. But I think that the thing to recognize is that this problem of local knowledge, local know-how will continue to persist. AI's, even Sarvam being built on a sovereign basis for India, isn't going to get the knowledge that you're going to get. Certainly, the global AIs are not going to be trained on local data. Sam Altman said 18 months ago that OpenAI consumed all the data in the world. I went and did the math. I couldn't figure out he could have consumed more than 10% of the data in the world. And the data in the world is increasing at an exponential rate. So lots of opportunities for you there. And I think, again, challenging you to focus on where you continue to get that data and bring it into the solutions you're building. And that leads to the point of data moats. Venture capitalists are always focused on moats. Moat is the thing that lets you build something sustainably and defend it against competition. And the thing that's most exciting is when you can build a moat that gets deeper and wider as your product operates. And this is easy to say and not easy to do. Of the 9 companies in our portfolio right now, I think only 1 or 2 of them in our most recent fund portfolio, only 1 or 2 of them have what I call a self-perpetuating moat. And they all of them have a moat of some kind, but one that actually makes itself bigger and better, deeper, longer, that's the moat you really want. So think about how you can do that, because if you do that, then you will be building a business that will sustain for the ages and grow very successfully. Another point that you all probably have touched on, but maybe you're using free credits from AI providers right now. But the cost of what you do really matters. About 2 years ago, one of our portfolio companies in Maharashtra, I convinced them to switch over their customer service to using AI instead for talking to in an agricultural domain. And they said, hey, the AI cost us more than the people we were employing. And they hired the people back. Now, we went and fixed that and got it working better. But this problem is going to actually continue to increase. As the token costs may come down, the bills are going up. Uber famously told us this just recently, and you need to focus on that question as you scale. So those are a few bits of guidance from a seasoned investor in India. Moving to part 2 here, go to the chat window if you could and just type yes or no if you have heard of this concept of cognitive debt or cognitive surrender. The more simple term is AI can make you stupid. And I'd just like to know how many people have heard about this. Yeah, so I'm seeing maybe 50%. So this is a very real problem. And I'm just going to pause for a second, let you look at these 4 questions. These are all 4 questions that lead you to the risk of cognitive surrender or creating cognitive debt. So I'll just pause for a moment while you read that, and then we'll talk about what you do about it. And by the way, you can go to the chat bot that I put a link into earlier and have a conversation about this and see detailed guidance here, and also the information on the research that we've done on this topic. So here's some quick facts that might wake you up if you haven't heard about this. MIT did a study. They divided essay writers into 3 groups. The group using ChatGPT 4 and 5 could not quote 1 sentence from their own work that was submitted only 5 minutes previously. So they pushed deliver, I'm done. The guys came back and said, okay, tell me a quote that you wrote. And the answer is 4 and 5 couldn't do anything. That's a real problem. Here's one. In Rio, they did a randomized controlled trial, and they looked at students studying with and without help of AI. Did a surprise test 45 days afterwards, found an 11-point difference in the performance of sort of recall, basically knowledge internalization of students, that 11 points down for students that studied with AI versus not. This one scares you the most if you're in the medical profession. I saw we have somebody looking at vision, which there's a lot of great stuff AI can do in medicine, but here's one where I think this is done in Poland, that basically experienced endoscopists, those are people that work on colonoscopies and the like, or trying to find colon cancer, had a 20% drop in their performance after they started using AI. Even though they're solving life and death problems. So final one here, Microsoft's Carnegie Mellon study basically said that it was an inverse proportionality between the confidence people had in AI and their ability to think critically and produce good results. So these are all forms that you don't want to get into. So there's really 7 disciplines. I'm not going to be able to go through these in long detail today. They're all in my chat bot, have more discussions. But the first thing, learn about what AIs do well and what they don't, and make sure that everybody you work with does this, knows deeply. And don't learn only about the one you're using today. Learn about one that's indigenous to India, like Sarvam. Learn about ones that are US foundation models. Learn about Chinese or French. They all have differences. So learn about them, know what they do and don't do well. That will help you. The most important thing you hopefully get from all of this is think first. Don't turn to your AI for answers. It's your helper, it's your sparring partner, it's not your oracle. So think first. That's the way to really make sure your brain is engaged, and then make AI your thought partner. So, fight with it. Ask it to criticize what you're doing. Give it feedback on what it's doing. This sparring back and forth with two models, preferably, sometimes three, is what's going to help make you, again, engage the critical thinking muscle and make it work. Once you come up with something, go back and rethink about it again. Say, hey, why do I believe this? Is this really good? I mean, it's a very eloquent answer from AI, but is it good enough? Is it actually true? And at the end, this is the thing that the study that MIT did. People didn't own what they wrote, so you got to make sure you own everything you create. That ownership, that internalization of it, is what makes it yours, as opposed to just something you regurgitate from an AI. And then a key thing is to think about your brain on AI as a muscle and use it without AI once a week. I'm a mountain bike rider. I ride my non-electric mountain bike as well as my electric mountain bike, and that makes sure you keep your muscles strong. And then finally, recognize that this is something to repeat forever. This is not, it's a moving target. What AI can do today well and not well is going to change tomorrow. Your methodology for using it intelligently and not getting into trouble is something you need to internalize and use over time. So that's just a couple minutes on this. Highly recommend you get into that. Understanding how to avoid cognitive surrender. Final point, I'm very proud to have gotten a piece published in Economic Times on their entrepreneur.com site last week. It's a large task to get these guys to write about something and get distribution across India. But I wanted to bring up a real big problem. It's called the token divide. And here's the question that I set out to answer, and you can type this into the chat window as well. So what percent of Indian consumers and small business owners do you think can afford, not necessarily will afford, but could afford if they wanted to, a $20 a month AI subscription? Type a percentage into the chat window. I'd be really curious to see if anybody thinks this number is bigger than what I think it is. Okay, I got 5%, 20%, 1%. Okay, well, so the can afford, the answer is probably around between 5 and 10%, depending on who you ask. The will they spend it, that's a whole other question. The answer is not even that many. And then who's going to solve that problem, right? If all these people can't get access to even the most basic, is this a government problem? Is it a AI Foundation Lab problem? Is it the market forces will prevail and all be good? Or is it builders like you? I'm hoping a little bit of the latter. So here's my core thesis. Imagine a textile trader sitting in a tier 2 city like Nagpur, has access to the free chat bot. She is used to using this, and it's incrementally better through AI. But competitor sits in another bigger city and has an actual budget, has the $20 a month, maybe even has more than that. Now, it doesn't matter how hard she works. The token divide means that because she can't spend that $20 a month, which is a meaningful chunk of her margin, she's just going to fall behind that similar business owner in another city who has the $20 a month or $30 or $100 a month. And that's going to get bigger. And that token divide will happen everywhere from the very top of the economic pyramid, from elite developers, from people like yourselves who are building. If you have access to $100 a month or $1,000 a month, you can build a lot more than somebody who has access to only $20 a month. So that token divide is going to keep getting worse from the top all the way down to the Sunnitas in Nagpur. So 3 different ways to solve this problem. Right to compute. The government can solve the problem. We've tried this a little bit in India already. You can do it ad supported like OpenAI is doing. I don't think that's going to work at scale, certainly not in lower and middle income areas you guys target. And finally, edge AI. And this is where there's great opportunity. And again, I'm just going to simply try to inspire you briefly that think about the fact that the smartphone that is in all of your pockets, that is sitting on desks, probably on a charger, is capable of joining with other smartphones ultimately and becoming a local area AI supercomputer, or if you put a whole lot of them together, about 10% of the idle smartphones in the 7 largest metros is equivalent to a big chunk of a multi-megawatt data center that people are building for hundreds of millions of dollars. And those are basically free hardware that's distributed around the country. So these things are starting to be proved out in the lab. The technology is going to be emerging, and I think there's great opportunities to apply this in all the kind of businesses you guys were seeing. Look for ways to have models run on phones, have phones joined together to become smarter as a whole, and to solve problems locally at scale. So the software is not easy. Making this all work is a systems problem. Maybe beyond the realm of a smaller entrepreneur, but you might find others that are doing it and ride on their back. So in closing, what should you do next? Number one, focus on what you're already doing, which is local data, local context, local know-how, but make sure you're sustainable. Think about the fact that those token costs are going to matter. And as you scale, you really have to make sure you're sustainable. And if you have ideas to how to bridge the token divide, go at that too, because that's a giant social problem for India and the rest of the world. Cognitive surrender is a real problem. Half of you have already heard about it. Half of you now have heard about it. Tell everybody you know, and think about how to solve it. It's not that hard, but it does require discipline. And finally, just an invitation to come and chat with my book in the chat window there. It's a free chat, free account lets you actually read the book, be published on Penguin later this year. I'm going to keep updating it, and I love feedback. So with that, thanks very much. Great to talk to you all.
Thank you, Will. I think, yeah, we might take a couple of questions just to complete the... So anybody who has a question for Will, you can raise your hand so you can start speaking directly, whatever is convenient.
I don't have a question, but thanks, Will, for seeding this thought.
Yeah, I have a question, Will, Rajat this side. So about this cognitive surrender. So recently I was part of a debate on this same topic. So an insight that I felt was with AI, because the permutation is coming up, more combinations are increasing. So this idea that newer ways to use the AI rather than existing to the older mechanism of thinking. So I felt that way ki new things are coming up. So newer modes of thinking are coming up. Like one particular instance, we are using our own voice agent to do the marketing, to book meetings, like an outreach agent, which was not possible previously. So this combination itself is kind of a newer way to think.
And those are all good things.
How do you see that? Yeah.
No, I think those are all great, and I think one of the interesting things is, when they introduced, my wife talked to a Gen Z about the fact that we all did school without calculators, and the Gen Z kid was like, "Are you really? I didn't know that was possible." Yeah, we didn't have them back then. So there are new ways to do things, and new ways will evolve, and they've happened many times. And what you just described, sure, that's great. But the question is, how do you make use of those new ways, right? How do you make sure that if voice AI is doing all this work for you, that you're still in touch with how it's talking to the customers, that it's actually doing the right thing, right? You don't just abdicate all the thinking there, that you make sure that you maintain some of the thinking, that you be in touch. And that's true in any way you engage with AI.
Got it. Thanks for the response.
Yeah.
Hi, Will, and thanks for this session. It really add value. And one of the input I want to share is currently all this AI model was heavily subsidized by the venture capitalists. We are not actually paying the real fee of the model. It was heavily subsidized. A lot of all the company making billions of dollars. So you can't project that there is a layoff on job based on the subsidized model of these companies. When the company come into the real profit motto, then naturally their pricing per token or per model will be so high. It won't be like $20. It may be $20,000. It can go in that way. So, but one thing I find a market like India is you have a smaller team, like SME kind of a segment. Okay, you can have a one engineer and one subscription, but you can provide enterprise grade quality to your customer. You can use all the tool and make sure that your customer also get some 100-member team enterprise thing. So that is where this AI can add a lot of value. But I don't feel it can replace the jobs. It may create more jobs, and it makes sure that the outcome is not depend on an individual human, because the AI will be a layer between you and a customer, and whatever you do, the AI will make sure that the outcome is in a good quality is delivered. So that aspect also, it can add a value to the small, especially on SME companies.
Yeah, no, look, I certainly agree with all that. And your first statement is very true. And that subsidies are going to start reducing, right? Anthropic already started doing this. They started adding
Yeah.
token pricing, what, about 6 months ago. And because the public markets are not going to subsidize this, right? They're going to hold AI companies accountable for actually delivering profits. And so that as those costs go up, there have to be new solutions that emerge that allow the value you just described to be created. And that's why I think edge or other forms of more targeted, affordable AI are critical, particularly for a country like India, right? And you want to do anything, look, it's not interesting to do something in quantities, ones or tens. You do it in terms of lakhs and crores. And when you do that times cost, even of tokens today, it's a real problem. So, and as the demand for intelligence goes up, right, the demand for this more capable agentic systems, the consumption of tokens goes up exponentially, and therefore the cost is a real problem. So that this problem does have to be addressed.
Yeah, true, exactly. Yeah.
Wonderful. I think now we got to go on with the rest of the program. Thank you, Will. Yeah, that was truly richly laden with insights. If you're able to stay for a few more for the second round of cohorts, that'd be great. Prateek, let's invite the next set of entrepreneurs to share.
Thank you so much for doing this again. Now I would like to move ahead with a set two of our startups to present their experience and their success stories. I would like to welcome Bonnie. And over to you, Bonnie, if you can quickly share your experience with everyone here.
Sure. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Will, once again. I'll summarize the entire experience with AFI using some analogies that I've really come to terms with. So there are three key parts of the entire AFI experience. One is these sessions, like the one that we just heard. Then there's the cohort members, and then their mentors. I see this entire process in a way that these sessions tend to put seeds or thoughts or ideas into the mind of what all are the possibilities. Then when it comes to interaction with the mentors, they act like a sieve. You have so many thoughts bubbling, in terms of ideas or processes or things, and you basically want to distill those thoughts into the items that you can really go out and execute. For some people, the pores of the seeds are bigger, means they can execute a lot more, because depending on the size of the company. For some, the pores are a little small. You can focus on a couple of things at a time and scale it from there on. So I think the bespokeness of the program, depending on the stage of the company and how you can still make sure that you are adding value. So the role of the mentors, selflessly helping startups in that journey, in that part, is really helpful. I think I'll second that. And then the third part comes the cohort members. And the strength of the cohort is the sum of everybody in there, right? So be it so some of the cohort members that I've personally interacted with a lot, Manoj from Emocare, or a few of them, I think that is the core strength. So I think that's how I'll summarize the entire AFI experience of how it has really valued, right from seeding in new thoughts to the ones that we can really go out and execute and then keep churning the wheel to get more and more value from the programs. I think that's how I'll put it.
Thank you so much, Bonnie. Next, I would like to welcome Mr. Amit Patel, founder of Oros Health, to share his sort of experience with everyone. Amit, over to you.
Thank you, Glossy, and appreciate everyone time today, and will appreciate your session as well. Very informative. Couple things. One, I think our experience specifically, I think and I don't want to reiterate what was just previously said, but I think the mentor quality and access was phenomenal. I think that's one of the strongest parts of AFI was really the access that we had to these experienced founders, operators, right, investors who really gave us practical and candid feedback, right? The mentors I mean, they challenged our assumptions. They asked really difficult questions, and really helped refine our strategy rather than just kind of validating our ideas, right? Just similar to what Will talked about. Don't just take answers, right, that AI gives you, right? Push back a little bit, play devil's advocate, maybe even propose an opposing viewpoints just so that people can look at it from different perspectives, right? And that's what our mentors did with us. Those conversations really improved our positioning, our fundraising narrative. It even made us look at the way our approach to market was. So I think that was phenomenal. I think that, and the other part also, which what I loved about AFI specifically is that uh, it kind of gave us the structured environment to regularly communicate progress, right? Revisit priorities, make faster decisions, right? All those things. There was the cadence on the check-ins was phenomenal, and not just with the AFI team, but with the mentors themselves specifically as well. And so the regular updates kept us honest as well, right? And kept me and my team accountable to what we were doing and making sure that we were constantly pushing our agenda and our narrative across the board. We weren't just complacent, right? And so I think that was phenomenal. And the last piece I'll really bring up is really just the overall network and ecosystem. I think beyond the curriculum, right? Beyond the learnings, beyond the updates and all that good stuff. I think AFI's biggest strength is the community that it creates. We were just surrounded by ambitious founders, investors, again, industry experts across the board. There's a lot of valuable lessons, shared experiences across the board that I think we were able to help each other out from that perspective as well. So I think that's been phenomenal. I still keep in touch with our mentor even after the session ended for us. And so again, I've had phenomenal experience across the board with it, and I continue to hopefully be engaged with AFI, yeah, even if I can help out myself. So
Thank you so much, Amit. Moving ahead with our next founder, Ms. Samita, founder of Resilience 360 AI. Samita ji would like to hand over the forum to you to share your experience with everyone. Over to you, Samita ji.
Thank you so much, Glossy. And hi, Prasad, Prateek, for bringing us in
Right.
right from the beginning, for holding us through. And it's not an end yet. My name is Samita. I'm also representing Sandeep Reddy, who is my co-founder, and an entire team who has benefited as part of this AFI portfolio. The beginning for us and the highlight for us is I understand that it calls high impact entrepreneurs and social impact entrepreneurs. Purpose, impact, profit, and planet in the conversation has not been possible or would not be possible without AFI. So thanks to this journey. The three things that stood out phenomenally for us are, number one, the challengers in mentors, the challengers among all of you in the AFI team, who constantly helped us refine our theses on our go-to-market. We had a thesis. We are extremely strong in a particular segment, and we are growing ourselves in a new segment. We are also growing ourselves globally. Being able to distill that in a very short period by asking questions and helping us with first principle thinking, that was the first highlight. The second highlight is the very process in which you bring us through. There are times when I have forgotten, and I must confess, but you did not let us forget that we have deliverables to work on, we have actions to take, and the way you guys did it differently from everybody else is you take actions on yourselves. So when the mentors and the AFI team are themselves taking actions, it gives you that nudge to complete our own actions towards finishing those conversations with our potential customers, with the prime suspects, with target audience, coming back, reconciling them, going back and building business. And the third and most powerful highlight of AFI is we have been able to generate strong connections, which are hopefully converting into revenue. Nothing is better than money and capital that brings or comes to a startup. For us, the revenue is where our focus was. And thanks to the entire cohort and thanks to the team that has been fueling this conversation with us for bringing the money home. And it is not invested, it is much more precious money for us, which is customer money. So thank you for having us on the cohort, and it has been a brilliant experience. We would want to continue, and we will stay continued to the effort of AFI.
Wonderful, Samita. Thank you so much. Just a change of small plan. The remaining entrepreneurs we will hear just after this next keynote. So Manoj, if you can wait for us for a minute. Vijay, Dr. Vijay Amritraj is already on the call with us, and I want to take a quick minute to introduce him and then have him address the group. Again, it's a distinct privilege to invite Dr. Amritraj amidst us. Again, I have three distinct reasons. We all know the Amritraj name to all the sports lovers. There'd be hardly an Indian who hasn't heard about Vijay Amritraj. But to a setting like this, to a group like this, in my mind, there are at least three reasons. One, in an environment which has been so resource constrained, that didn't deter him from reaching the true upper echelons of the sport. At one point in the early 1970s, he was truly part of the Christian as the ABC of tennis, Amritraj, Borg, Connors. And he literally defeated Borg, Connors, Rod Laver, and a whole bunch of others. And he stayed at the top of the game for not just a year, not just a decade, but much longer. So that's one reason to be able to kind of, really reach, scale great heights with great resource constraints. Secondly, I want the founders to take notice the consistency across 5 decades almost. Not just in tennis. In tennis, he was there for a couple of years, but then as an entrepreneur, then in film, then in production. And over 5 decades, the consistency, the resiliency that he's displayed, it's just incredible. And I'm sure that a lot of us in the audience have a great deal to learn from this. And the final point I want to kind of mention is in terms of again, as entrepreneurs, you're always looking to kind of marshal resources for the pursuit of your cause. And you do that through relationships. And nobody, literally nobody, does that as well as Dr. Amritraj in terms of be it in the US, be it in India, be it in the political realm, the business realm, the impact realm. So I'm hoping that he will have a chance to share on some of these topics and inspire all of us in the room. With that, over to you, Dr. Amritraj.
There we go. I hope everyone can hear me and see me. Just want to make sure everyone is aware of the fact that I am not AI generated. I'm here in person, sitting in my office in Los Angeles, California, and getting ready for another travel ahead of me in the next day. Thank you very much, Sanjay, for having me. Alex, thank you. Great to see you both. And thank you all to listen to what I've just been fortunate to listen to about all of the youngsters and the young entrepreneurs. And I always wish to say that the next generation is going to keep us in good hands. And I think that's very fortunate to have them, for me to be able to listen to each and every one of you. My start in life was a completely different form of life. I was unhealthy growing up as a child. I'll give it to you in about 30 seconds to a minute. I was unhealthy growing up as a child and eventually was in hospital, spent a lot of time in and out of hospital, had IV in me. My mother would go sit in school and take notes and come and teach me in the hospital. It was one of those things where she didn't want me to be left behind. And eventually the doctor suggested that I play an outdoor sport to be able to get healthy again, to be able to go to school like a normal person and enjoy what kids would enjoy. And it still didn't work out that great, but at the end of the day, I couldn't run 50 yards, 100 yards, and so on and so forth. Eventually, my mother got me to do it at 5 o'clock in the morning, drove the car by the side of me, eventually running 100 yards, 200 yards, half a mile, and eventually 5, 6, 7, 8 miles at 5 o'clock in the morning. I think the important aspect of what my parents were to me at an early age has kind of stuck with me my entire life. And I've always said, and you might have, if you Google it, you'll see it in 10 different places, 100 different places, that these were two ordinary people, my parents, who ended up doing extraordinary things with my life. And I've always said that anyone in my position at the time would parents like this would just could not have had a reasonable amount of success. I think the fortunate aspect of that was the fact that they stayed with me through the entire journey. The entire journey, they were my pillars, they were my support, they were the shoulders that I was always able to stand on at a time of emotional downturn, physical downturn, any issues that came up by way of bad losses. We celebrated good wins. I've had both. Seeing the ups and downs in sport is very genuine. It's very clear. There's great clarity to when you play sport, because you play well, you win, you play badly, you lose, especially in an individual sport. In team competitions, 11 players are on the field playing soccer. We just witnessed the FIFA World Cup, and you see that. One guy can be pulled out, the other guy comes in, 20 minutes. But in tennis, you stay with it. If you have problems on the court, you're the only one who has to fix it. It's very difficult for anyone else to help you, even though they may be sitting far away in a box. So these things teaches you one very, very important aspect. The most important aspect of this journey of mine in tennis, I was on tour for 22 years, was it taught me about myself. It taught me exactly what was impossible and why that impossible became possible. And that's the lesson I think we all learn from life. Every time in today's life, I'm been around for a long, long time. I faced ups and downs, but every time I hit a roadblock, every time for me, a roadblock has always become a speed bump. You're going to cross it. And I think when you look at challenges, I look at challenge, as the great Billie Jean King said, every challenge is an opportunity. And pressure is a privilege. I was just fortunate to have that pressure over sport playing for a large country. And so when 1 billion people want you to win so badly, there is that incredible amount of pressure that you feel. That is the adrenaline and the focus that makes you reach for more than the skies. I always felt that if I played 70% of my game, my fellow Indians would take me the other 30%. So and it's happened time and time again in my sport, and with great amount of clarity, as I've said. So it has taught me how to actually lead my life thereafter tennis. My tennis career was late 30s. By 40, I had to be doing something else. I ended up in television. Again, something I had never done before. Never done before. And now all of a sudden, you're in front of millions of people, and you must know when to talk. You must know when the commercial break is. You know there's someone else talking in your ear. You know there's a compatriot with you you're discussing things with. You know you're going to take a break. And you also know that there are audiences who want to watch you, and then there are audiences who don't want to watch you. How do you keep the audiences who want to watch you and engage with them? Because they understand the game. And then there may be two others in the same household who are not interested. They'd rather go shopping. Now, how do I bring those two people into the fold to sit on the couch and watch this great match? Now, of course, television is a visual, so you don't have to talk all the time. You have to understand that the audience wants to watch. They don't want to constantly listen to you also. So you get in and out at particular times. So 27 years of television taught me every nook and corner, nook and cranny, when the satellite goes down, when something falls off the electronic scoreboard, the fact that players take a break, and the producer sometimes tells you in your ear, Vij, fill for 20 minutes. Fill for 20 minutes live on TV in front of millions of people with nothing to talk about? That's not easy. So I think these kinds of things put challenges up front and center for me, which became an opportunity. And to me, that was the learning curve. In everything that I did, that was the learning curve. I was very fortunate to serve the United Nations for nearly 7 years as a messenger of peace for the late Kofi Annan, who was Secretary General. I served alongside the great Muhammad Ali, Luciano Pavarotti, Elie Wiesel, the Nobel laureate, Michael Douglas, the actor, and I went to places I never dreamt I would get to. Tennis tournaments were in great big cities, from Sydney to Tokyo to Tashkent to Bombay to Boston to Casablanca, all over the world, in great big cities. But you went to smaller towns that were hit. The first visit for me as a messenger of peace was when the earthquake hit Gujarat in the city of Bhuj. And I was there on the ground 48 hours after it actually happened. And to see what these incredible UNICEF volunteers were doing with a cell phone and a bottle of water, rebuilding those people's lives, who are the lives that have been gone, and the families that have lost these lives all of a sudden. It was another new venture for me in my head to understand how important it was to be able to do service to others and what a difference it made. And I think that went on to become a part of my life. I was very fortunate that I did other things. I was in movies, I was in television, I was on talk shows. I did a lot of charity work. I attended and raised money for a variety of causes, for a variety of reasons. And the most important part of it was people that you meet along the way. And each of them touch you in both in a spiritual way, drives up your adrenaline, inspires you, and the person can be famous, and it doesn't have to be famous. But sometimes things stay in your head. And the great Muhammad Ali said this right when he said, the service you do for others on earth is the rent you pay for a room in heaven. I think when you hear something like that, it automatically stays in your head. And you try to live by it to some extent. People ask me today, what do you like to do? You've done this, you've done this, you've done this, you've done this. What would you like to do? I said, well, I like to wake up every morning and hope I can put a smile on the face of someone I don't know. It's not easy. But let it be a focus. In work, as it is in life. People who are married, they may have issues. People with parents, grandparents, grandchildren. Things go haywire often. When does it become a true challenge? That challenge becomes only a speed bump. So you can actually get over it. The reason it's a challenge is because it's actually an opportunity. It teaches you to get better. And that's what the game of tennis brought to me, television brought to me, especially live television. Oh, movies, you can do a scene and do it again. Oh, I didn't like it, so I'll do it again. Oh, I'll do it again. But at the end of the day, the performance has to be a collective effort. Here, when you meet people, when they impress upon you and they inspire you, it stays with you through your entire life. We have fights constantly. We have fights with coworkers. We have fights with teammates. You have fights with your spouses. You have fights with parents, grandparents. You fight with, it can start with a small disagreement. How do you overcome it? And then it ends up being a part of your inner being. I was very fortunate during one of our United Nations lunches during the General Assembly to meet with the great late Nelson Mandela after he had become president. And the one thing that he mentioned, which was just mind-boggling again, was the fact that I said, how could you possibly be in a cell for 27 years, in a cell about that big? I could put my hands in. I went to Cape Town. I went to Robben Island. I went to where he was, and I stood in there, and I thought to myself, how is this possible that the man could come out and then forgive the people who put him there? And he put his arm around and he said, forgiveness is not for the forgiven. It is for the forgiver. So it releases you of what is in your inner self. There are a lot of things we learn, we think we cannot learn because it's not in your wheelhouse, whether it's tech, whether it's AI, whatever it might be. But in life, it should teach you to be a better self. The success comes from not beating the next guy alone. The success comes from making you, yourself, a better person tomorrow. How do we work on that? It's all of these things that comes in life's journey. The people that you meet along the way, everyone teaches you something. The guy who ran the elevator, the guy who ran the bar, the guy who ran a restaurant, the guy who ran a company, the presidents, prime ministers, everyone that I've been very fortunate to have met, have always had left me with one lasting impression of a kind. And I hope that I can retain that. And a lot of it I write down so I can actually try to assimilate and understand it, and at the same time, see how it can benefit me. And it generally does. And I think that's what life's journey is all about. I can go on and on with numerous analogies and examples and so on and so forth. But the clarity that my sport gave to me about life is what an analogy for me is the analogy in any walk of life that each one of you may have. Whatever you develop, whatever you end up being successful in, and each and every one of you, the smartest there is no getting away from it. You're going to raise money, you're going to build companies, you're going to do things that are unique for the next generation to come. Absolutely. But learn from it as a life's journey also. Learn from it to make you a better person with whoever you live with, whoever you're working with, that you make a difference to the person you're able to touch. So that would be my strong recommendation, my strong belief. Have that belief in yourself. I talk about the 5 Ds, which are the most important parts of success. The first, of course, is desire. If you don't have the desire to do something, please don't do it. the second 3 go together. It's the determination, the discipline, and the dedication. All 3 of them need to be there for you to consistently, with hard work. We always say that the harder you work, the luckier you get. And I think that's where it started in my home, as my mother put the saying in front of my bed when we woke up every morning, from Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, who said, "Heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, for they, while their companions slept, were toiling upwards in the night." So keep little things like that in mind and make sure that you have the 5 Ds in your head: the discipline, the dedication, the determination, and starting with the desire. And when you've done these 4, which are in your wheelhouse, it is something that you can do, then the 5th is out of our hands. It's divine intervention. It has to fall our way. In the lead court in a tennis match, the ball hits the top of the net. If it falls that way, you win. If it falls this way, you lose. So you need that little, you want to call it luck, we can call it luck. I call it divine intervention. Goes the other way. People said to me many times, "Oh, you didn't win Wimbledon. Are you disappointed?" I said, "Well, that's always looking at the cup half empty. I look at the cup half full. The rest of my life, I've been blessed." So I think when I look back at life's journey, it continues to teach me on a daily basis. And to this day, I try to be someone better tomorrow than I was today. Let me leave you with that thought.
Thank you so much, Vijay. That was so inspiring. I couldn't have expected anything less from you.
Thank you.
So nice. Do we have time for maybe one question here?
Please.
Dr. Amritraj needs to leave in the next 3 minutes or so. But yeah, anybody in the audience feel anything that's moved you from his remarks? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Vijay, my name is Sudhir. I'm Sanjay's classmate from school. I got a lot of white hair. You got black hair. So I have 2 questions for you, quick ones. That's why I'm not on camera.
It's work in progress.
You talked about being an individual. You played a lot of individual tennis, and yet you've also combined with Anand to win a lot of doubles tournaments. My first question is, what did that teach you in life? And did you have any learnings from that?
Oh, absolutely. It was what I call a twofer. It was not playing doubles with just someone else who became a teammate. This is playing doubles with your older brother. So
Right.
there are a lot of issues that can come in the middle of it too, as you play. Anand and I were salt and pepper. We're chalk and cheese. We were. I complimented what he didn't have, and he complimented what I didn't have. And I've always said, as I said at the induction ceremony when I was inducted in the Hall of Fame, I said, if it wasn't for Anand, I wouldn't have played as long as I did. So we got along so well together thereafter as we do today, even to this day. He hasn't changed, and I haven't changed that much either. So, but he does have white hair, though. Other than that, we're pretty much the same. So we get together for dosas all the time. But at the end of the day, it was a blessing to have him as my doubles partner and play across the world.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. The second question.
Yeah.
You're 72 years old. What's the secret of your smooth skin?
My wife is not available now, so I'll let you know. But no, I mean, again, I think everything that these new things that come along, I'm not a big, I'm not fascinated with every new stuff that comes along, But there are some wonderful places, of course, in India that we can go to and enjoy and be a part of it. But I think to a great extent, diet, to a great extent, I think you got to eat what you want, but eat it in minimal portions. And as we get older, the appetite is less. Most importantly is exercise. Whatever age you are, my dad played singles tennis at 85, and I would try to get there if I could. But with so many injuries, that is the hardest part. But I do mix up between tennis and golf. And so I think that's important. Diet, exercise, and do everything as early as you can. My day starts very early and it finishes also very early.
One question for you, Vijay, from my side. The whole BATF experience, Britannia Amritraj Tennis Foundation, you did such a stupendous job in giving the next generation of tennis talents in India, including the likes of Leander Pearce, the next step up. So at Action for India, we're trying to do something similar for the next generation of social entrepreneurs. From the BATF experience, anything to us, the team at AFI, in terms of how we can guide the next generation of social entrepreneurs better?
Yes, I think, again, it's a question of, in our case, I wanted to, every time I played badly, I felt we needed the next generation to take my place. When I was playing well, we didn't give it much thought. So I think once that happened and we decided to go for a school of excellence, fully funded, with no interference from anyone else, any section of the world, they were completely secluded in one area. The parents could only see them on a Sunday afternoon for 3 hours. And my mother was in charge. She tasted every meal that the boys ate. She did homework with every one of the kids. She looked after each of their religions. And first, she was going to make them into proper human beings as they grow up and face the world. And then managed to play really good tennis, but also represented their family, their school, their state, and their country to the best of their ability. So that is a key element also as you go out into the world. And today we are living in a global world that we need to go out there and say, one, look at you. I've always said that people look at me and say, well, oh, he's Indian. And if they know me, they may know, okay, he played tennis. But the first and foremost, wherever I lived, wherever I went, I would always be Indian. So I think that's an important fact also to remember, that where you came from. As I've always said in the past, if you never know where you came from, you will never know where you're going. Wonderful. So that's, I think, a good thought for youngsters to have, irrespective of what business they're in.
Thank you once again. You've been very generous with your time addressing our group of social entrepreneurs. We hope that we can keep you informed about the progress that we are making, and some of these entrepreneurs might, touch base with you in the coming weeks.
And congratulations, Sanjay, to you, Alex, and the entire group and the team and what you all are doing. I think this is quite spectacular, and it is just wonderful for the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Take care.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thanks.
Glossy,
Moving
yeah.
ahead with our last presentation, but not the least, Manoj Shankar, founder of NemoCare. Hi, Manoj. Like to welcome and hand over the forum to you. Over to you. Manoj, you're there?
Audible? Hello.
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, hi. So I think when we came into the program, I had asked Sanjay saying, "Are we too old as a company to benefit from this?" And AI was something that we were translating to as well. So to write from that point saying, "No, you have AI and you have impact," I think you can explore. So that was how we got onboarded. And the journey has been very different for us in the sense saying, uh, use cases around AI in general were also moving pretty fast. And we were at a juncture where we wanted to know how do we position ourselves. And that's where our mentor Aishwarya came in very handy on telling us how do we tell our story differently. I think that was one of the major things that came across well. And happy to share that recently, in the last couple of weeks, we showcased our work on a UN platform where we got recognized as well. So I think where it started off with telling our story differently, I think that's where the true impact came for us, and we were able to bear the fruits as well. So that has been something that was the most recent thing that happened for us, and one big takeaway on how do we, in the age of AI, tell our story that helps connect to the people on the other side. So that was our biggest requirement and takeaway as well towards our journey on fundraising for larger good and scaling up. Thanks to AFI and the platform for us to learn, as always.
Thank you. Thank you, Manoj. And congratulations again for the wonderful accolade in Geneva recently.
Thank you. Thanks.
Glossy. Glossy, you're on mute.
Glossy, you're on mute.
So sorry. Thank you so much, Manoj, once again. And with this, we move ahead with our very crucial segment of today's evening. Very thankful, heartiest thankful to all our mentors, cohort jury members, and cohort mentors who shared their valuable time interacting with all the startups and sharing their insights. We have some of our mentors joined with us today. Maybe we request you to share your experience working with the startups, how it was, and how you felt about interacting with all the startups. So maybe I would like to welcome Nitin, if you can share a few of your thoughts with us.
Hey, thanks, Rossi. Yeah, it was a great experience. I think it was the first time I was mentoring these startups, and I came from a industrial or a enterprise AI background, and it was very enlightening for me to understand the other side of social impact, social entrepreneurship. So I myself was trying to bridge the gap between what I knew and what the social enterprises needed. So it was learning from my side, and I hope the social enterprises gain also from my experience. Thanks, Klossy.
Just to let
Thank
people
you.
know, Nitin is again based in the Bay Area. He works at NVIDIA. He's, I think, almost a 15-year veteran at NVIDIA. So again, these are the quality of mentors that we have at AFI to work with the entrepreneurs who come to us. Thank you, Nitin.
Thanks, Sanjay.
Absolutely. Truly agree with you, Sanjay. Next, I would like to welcome Bhanu. If you would like to share with us some of your thought process while mentoring Senthil. So over to you, Bhanu.
Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Hey, Bhanu.
Yeah. No, it's first of all great. I was just stepping back as I was listening to all of this. The first few calls that we had to even design and plan this cohort, what should be in it and how it should be run and so on. So from that day to this day, I think there has been it's such a satisfying process to see the way the startups have shaped up, all of the startups sharing their experience, that there has been so much value that the mentors and the program has given. I hope they continue to engage with AFI and the mentors, and they build that strong bond with the future cohorts as well. So where they become mentors probably for those teams. And the cohort, congratulations to all of you, and then my best wishes to the core team. I think Sanjay and rest of the team, great job.
And Glossy, for the phenomenal effort that you put in and chasing people, and of course chasing me as well, getting everybody on board and getting everybody's calendars aligned. Prasad, Pratik, as always, excellent. Thank you so much for making me part of this. And again, a quick word about Bhanu. Bhanu is based in Bangalore, is again a 20 plus year veteran at TCS, is an alumnus of Harvard, alumnus of Oxford. And he's been involved with AFI right from the early days. He's attended several of our annual forums. He's been there with every cohort almost since we began this pivot 5-6 years ago. So again, if AFI is making any progress, is serving our core customers, the social entrepreneurs, it's because of mentors like Bhanu. Thank you, Bhanu.
Thank you so much, Bhanu. Next, I would like to welcome Mr. Prakash Gupta. He was also one of our core mentor, and he mentored two of our startups of this cohort. Prakash, over to you if you can share some of your thoughts with us.
Thank you, Glossy. And as Bhanu mentioned, hats off to you to kind of engage everybody and structure every session so well. I mean, every session, one of the key things which I kept asking was, how do I create value for the startup? Right? It was not easy because everybody was so inspired. And what is the specific thing you can add so that it can add 10x to what they're doing? So it was not only a challenge from the startup's perspective, but also on our perspective in terms of how do you make that specific time useful and how do you carry that forward, right? So it was a short time, but it was very enriching. And I'm really glad to have the opportunity to kind of engage with these brilliant startups. It has also helped shape my own thought process in terms of how best to kind of contribute in a scale level perspective, some thoughts which I shared earlier. But yeah, I think this whole cohort and the approach to how this is being structured is fabulous. And congratulations to the entire team behind this.
Thank you, Prakashi. Few words about Prakashi. I think he brought in a different set of experience for this cohort, and he has worked very closely with the principal scientific advisor, and that brought in a different set of experience for the startups that were part of this cohort. So again, thank you very much, Prakashi.
Next, Himanshu, if you can share some of your thoughts with us. Himanshu, are you able to hear us?
Let's move on to the next person.
Sure. Emmanuel, you were also part of a lot of our cohorts and you also interacted with a lot of our cohort startups. I would like to welcome you to share some of your thoughts with us. How was your experience interacting with these startups? Over to you, Emmanuel.
Yeah, thanks so much. This particular cohort, of course, I didn't have too much of interaction, but wherever the opportunity arose and the requests came, I tried to do my bit to help in mentoring and supporting, including trying to make introductions and help with networking. And it was a pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity.
Again, a quick word about Emmanuel. Emmanuel has been an investment director at Caspian, one of the influential impact investing funds in India. And like the other mentors, especially with respect to our accelerator cohorts, is dedication and is support for these mentors for several years now across multiple cohorts has been truly incredible and amazing. And again, it's mentor. We say our core customers are the social entrepreneurs, but our core interveners, if you will, are the mentors. It's through them that we are able to kind of provide the value that we are able to the entrepreneurs. So thank you, Emmanuel.
Thanks so much, Sanjay. Thank you.
Thank you once again. Next, I would like to welcome Mr. Anbu Bani. He was the mentor for Exbuson team. Anbu sir, if you would like to share some of your thoughts with us. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Glossy, for the invite, and thank you, AFI, for this opportunity. It's been a pleasure working with Expos on AI, and the nature of the problem that they had taken, and the kind of challenges that they had was very well worth talking to them and helping them achieve their true potential. So it's been a true pleasure working with the startup and also Glossy and others in the EFI. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Anbu. Next, I would like to welcome Prabha. If you would like to share, because you were part of a few of our huddle session, maybe you can throw some light on your experience interacting with the cohort startups.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Glossy. And yeah, I guess I was part of a huddle which was with a few startups, and one, I think it was quite an intense one, number one, and the second one was I think we brought in a lot of good ideas, debated, and brought in some totally off the cuff ideas that I believe definitely brought some amount of pivots at the end of the huddle. So huddles, I think, have been one of those distinct features of this cohort and of AFI. Not many accelerators really that I am aware of do it, and I hope AFI keeps those huddle sessions going forward and also make them very productive. Thanks, Glossy.
Thank you, Prabha. And again, Prabha, to those of you who are not familiar, she's based in Bangalore. She's had senior executive stints at the companies like Texas Instruments and Intel. And again, it's the wealth of her experience and expertise that is available to our cohort of entrepreneurs. And talking about the huddles, huddles have been truly one of our innovations at AFI. We've been conducting huddles for our entrepreneurs ever since our first cohort about 5 years ago. And they have truly resulted in some kind of a breakthrough for these entrepreneurs. Yeah, it's basically a many-to-one form of mentorship. And it's a 90-minute session, a virtual session. But because of the focused attention of subject matter experts across horizontals, across verticals, focused on a small sliver of a problem that the entrepreneur is facing. That kind of attention by so many of the subject matter experts usually results in some kind of a breakthrough, if not a major breakthrough, at least a minor breakthrough. So thank you, Prabha, for being part of such hurdles for us.
Thank you so much, Sanjay, once again. With this, we come to the end of the today's valedictory event, and I would like to hand over the forum to Prasad, our marketing head, AFI. And over to you, Prasad, for the closing and vote of thanks, and share your inputs with everyone.
Thank you, Glossy, and hello, everyone. So as we come to the end of today's valedictory, I would like to take a moment to thank everyone for being with us. First, a heartfelt thank to our keynote speakers, Mr. Will Poole and Dr. Vijay Amritraj, for sharing your time, experiences, and inspiring words. We truly appreciate your support and are grateful to have had you with us today. And congratulations to our AI Plus Impact Cohort startups. It has been wonderful to see your journey over the past 4 months, and we wish you every success as you continue to grow and create impact. A sincere thank to our mentors, investor, ecosystem partners, and everyone who joined us today. Your encouragement and support mean a lot to our founders and to Action for India. I would also like to thank entire AFI team for their hard work behind the scenes in making this cohort and today's event a success. Finally, thank you to each one of you for taking the time to be with us today. We hope you enjoyed the session and look forward to staying connected. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.